A screen capture of the article in a local newspaper in Sarnia, Ontario. A local newspaper has finally shown some balls and put on a headline, "Threat of Nuclear Annihilation Fuels Outspoken Artist." This is fabulous. Kathy Dobson. I salute Kathy Dobson. So this is a screen capture of the article. You can read it. It's in the Sarnia Journal, December 22nd, for my upcoming show at the Imperial Theatre, or the Lawton Gallery at the Imperial Theatre. And I'm just going to ramble on a little bit while I have this screen capture, and you can read this. And I'm going to just sort of ramble on a little bit about what I've been encountering over the last few months. Things I've been ruminating again in my mind about why we feel so frustrated. The people that understand how serious this problem, this catastrophe that we're facing with the nuclear criminal syndicate polluting the environment with toxic radiation that will last for millions of years. And this newspaper has shown the courage to put this article in. I will write an article when my show is on, and I'm hoping they'll publish it. But why we're frustrated, and one of the things that I recognize about my own presentation is that there is no sense in merely calling people out and blaming people and playing a blame game and finding ways to ridicule and insult and all those things, which may be very true. I mean, on the whole, I'd have to agree that we're in such dire straits with exposing the seriousness of this catastrophe. But what is it that is going to make us effective? Ultimately, how do we become effective? And what I've been saying on my channel is that it requires personal changes. And personal changes do not mean that you tell everybody how shitty and horrible they are, but literally go through a transformation personally. And what I've said in this article is that when I heard this nuclear plant had 3 full core meltdowns, fuel pools missing, I knew how serious this was. And I changed the way I looked at my own work. And I think that from the way I look at this, when I talk about invoking conscience, that we do the right thing. We all know, we all know how serious this is. And how do we become effective if we choose to want to be part of a solution? How do we become effective in actually making the change? And it is a personal change that first of all has to occur. And the idea of continuously hammering and blaming someone hasn't worked. I mean, I would be happy to hammer and blame people if it worked. But my approach to this is, and I'm making, as you see, a little bit of a headway on my own program, on my own direction, that in order to become effective, I need to seduce people into my way of thinking. And it's not going to be by bludgeoning anybody, but it's by what I feel is more effective is to create a feeling in another person where they cannot refuse but to side with me. And to side with me is through my example, and my example obviously in this case are my paintings, also how I behave directly towards another person, that I will not ingratiate anybody to my way of thinking or being if I bludgeon or hammer them. Whether or not I'm angry or not, yes, there are always good reasons to act in certain ways. I don't doubt this. But in terms of my own perspective on what it is that will get results is to go through our own personal transformation and actively, how can I put this? You see, as a painter, I can make the paintings and exhibit them to a public that will or will not like this or dislike them or like them, buy them, want them in their house. This is how I personally, in a practical way, have been able to, through my own transformation, possibly, I say possibly, have an effect, one person at a time. And it's also affected my own sense of myself, the idea that this is so serious. would I go on with my life in the same way, doing the same things, acting the same ways that I have in the past? And this has, I think personally, we go through changes irregardless of the external world. Whatever might happen outside of us, yes, will have an effect, but ultimately it's our inner battle that is being fought. Whether or not we realize the world is doom and gloom or it's fabulous, whatever, it is an inner battle that we come to, that we recognize, and we challenge ourselves. I challenge myself to produce the work and to act in my day-to-day life that will make a difference, that I feel I have made that contribution to make a difference. And people complaining about, nobody's waking up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's not working. This is what I'm trying to say. We're not getting results. As activists, it is the persistence, the dogged persistence. Once we're passionate about something, we doggedly persist. Whether or not anybody is on our side is totally irrelevant. This is the nature of making painting, making art, being ignored. Like a lot of artists in the history have been totally ignored, but they didn't stop making the work. And I think this challenge we face, each one of us, literally we become artists in the sense that we do it no matter what. And we have to find a way to change ourselves in order to become effective and get the results that we want. And to list the usual suspects, of course, and the world is a dangerous place now because the owners and the renegade part of the population, that sort of a small group of people that have captured through technologies, through public relations, through film, through culture, what I call, this is our culture, the culture of death, which is run by some very, very wealthy organizations, individuals that direct the path to where they would like us to go so they can continue to manipulate and do what they want for whatever nefarious reasons. It's more, I believe, than just being super wealthy and having all that. It has to do with control of everything. People want to control everything outside. They don't deal with their inner controlling themselves on that inner eternity sense of being, existing, that part of us that is eternal. These people are not interested in eternity. They think they're interested in longevity. They want to live to be 100 years or 500 years or 1,000 years old, and cryogenesis, you freeze yourself, or they take a head and put it on another body maybe. Who knows how insane these people are in terms of trying to outwit eternity and the grim reaper. Well, it's not going to work. It's not how nature, how we as people work. Anyway, here's my article. You can read it, and if you're in the area, come and see me. Love to talk to you.